Welcome back. PERK'S reCAP podcast. Once again on my own. First time in a little bit. Wanted to get a podcast out there after the first series for the Yankees over the weekend. By the way, they have 2 days. They had 2 days off in the first 5 days of the season. They played Thursday, off Friday, play Saturday, play Sunday, off Monday. I know they're in New York and there's always a chance of rain, so they put in those days, but geez. Anyway, can't wait to get to the real, the meat of the season when you're just playing every day and it's more consistent. The beginning of the season always starts out like this, like a sputter. Anyway, the Torpedo Bats. That's what everybody's talking about in baseball. So you got to give the Yankees credit for not breaking any rules, obviously, and coming up with something that so far seems to be working. But this idea that there are 15 home runs over the weekend is because of the bats, and their hit barrage is because of the bats, it's just silly at this point. First of all, not everybody's using them. I would say about half the lineup is using them, the other half is not. Judge being one of the ones that is not using them. And how was his weekend? Pretty good. He was a player of the week already over 3 games. I don't know how that works, but he was. So anyway, torpedo bats become the hot topic around baseball, and now you're hearing about some of these other players who have been using them, by the way, on and off, or some of these other teams now apparently ordering these bats to be made for them. Like I hear the Atlanta Braves are one of those teams. The winless Atlanta Braves are one of those teams. So, we'll have to see if there's an impact. And it's going to be like anything else, like the sticky stuff for the pitchers became, just out of control, and everybody was using them, and nobody could hit, and they took it away. If runs go through the roof, if it gets just dumb with the amount of people hitting home runs and everything else with these bats, they'll outlaw them. That's all there is to it. They'll make a change. There'll be some sort of change to minimize their impact. Because that's what baseball does. It corrects itself. They will correct this if they need to. Like I said, give the Yankees credit for being the first team to really embrace it. But it's not like they're the only team. Like I said, there's plenty of players around the league that do use these exact bats, and more teams are going to use these exact bats now. More teams are ordering them. They're going to be common. That's going to be the main thing. It's a copycat league, just like the NFL. You see a team doing something that works, and you have the ability to do the same thing, you're going to try it out. So we'll have to see where it goes with the Torpedo Bats. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And like I said, the best hitter in baseball is Aaron Judge, and he's not even using one. As for the 3 wins, I came into this thinking Milwaukee was going to get a game. I mean, Milwaukee I think they won 90 games last year, and I know for sure they won the NL Central. So they're a good team, but the pitching that they brought out these 3 games was just terrible. I mean, not any good. I mean, Freddie Peralta is a really good starter, but they got to him on Friday. But then Nestor on Saturday was just a complete disaster. Just a total disaster. And I can't even remember the person's name. I apologize, who pitched on Sunday. Not much better, not any better than Nestor. So I think it's a combination of a few things. Maybe minimally, the Torpedo Bats. Much more of a factor was Milwaukee just being terrible, terrible pitching. And then a combination as well of the Yankees just, for whatever reason, just getting off to a hot start. A lot of guys hitting well right out of the gate here. So we'll have to see. There's still no true leadoff hitter. I think I prefer Wells to Goldschmidt at the top of the lineup. Although it's not a huge deal for me either way, because I do like the left right aspect of that. So I like the fact that Wells would be a lefty, then Judge would be a righty, Bellinger would be a lefty, Goldschmidt would be a righty. I like that symmetry, but it's, again, not a huge deal. We talked about this on the podcast with Al and Jordan, the baseball preview podcast. Make sure you check that out if you haven't yet. It's right here in my feed, so you can just check that out. It's only a couple days old. We recorded it on Friday, so opening day was Thursday, and Friday was our MLB preview and predictions podcast. But anyway, we talked about this a little bit on there. I don't think traditional leadoff men are the norm anymore, or at least for the Yankees, they're not. And the thing is, and the reason why is because your best hitter now no longer bats number 3, he bats number 2. And if your best shot to hit a home run or to hit a double and score a run or whatever is your second guy, you don't, especially for the Yankees. I'm a Yankee fan, right? If your leadoff man is a traditional leadoff man and steals second while Judge is up, well, you're taking the bat out of his hands because he's going to get walked. I don't care who's batting behind him, he's going to get walked. That's just all there is to it. And I do think he's going to get walked a lot this year. So the fact that Goldschmidt, who, he used to steal some bases, but he doesn't anymore, not really. He'll give you a handful, sure. Or Wells, who doesn't steal at all. You just need guys on base, on first base. And their on-base percentages, especially Goldschmidt in his career anyway, is a good on-base guy. But just stay at first base so they'll pitch to Judge. But if you steal or attempt to steal and either get caught, so now there's nobody on base for Judge, or steal the base and they walk him, you can take the bat out of his hands. So there's basically no good outcome if you try to steal with Judge up. And he's so important to the Yankees lineup, you can't afford to take the bat out of his hand. And like I said, I do think he's going to get walked a lot this year anyway, so that's going to happen regardless. But let's not give them even more incentive to walk him, more walks to him when there's an open base, which will be the case if you're trying to steal. So a traditional leadoff man stealing bases left and right doesn't work for the Yankees. On base percentage means more. And you see the number 2 guy around baseball being pretty much the best hitter on the team. Other than the Dodgers, who has Shohei Ohtani leading off a lot. But I believe Bryce Harper in Philadelphia is batting second. And it's around the league, like I said. The philosophy has changed. So just my 2 cents in on opening day, the opening weekend. Of course, I love the 3 wins. Let's get another one. Let's extend this as far as we can. We got winnable games here against Arizona, and then I think Pittsburgh on the road. Our first road series will be against Pittsburgh. I'm going to try to have podcasts often, just quick ones like this. Just series recap, thoughts on the team, how they're doing, things like that. Try to do it after every series, driving into work, things like that. You know me with my driving in my long car rides. Pressing record from time to time is a good idea, and gives me some more content out there. So those are my thoughts. Not a big deal. I mean, I love the 3 wins, love all the runs, love the 15 home runs. We'll see if it continues. I'm sure there'll be a lull where they can't score any runs for 3 games in a row, just like they couldn't stop scoring runs for three games in a row. And that'll probably happen again later on in the year. Who knows? Definitely enjoyed it. Definitely glad to have the 3 wins. And let's just try to keep it going. That's going to do it. Quick 10-minute podcast. Look for another one after the Arizona series. And until then, I will see you later.